can see my screen. That's good. So let's begin. The things, this is more like how I outline the class or the course. I'll say IELTS essay course. The first thing we're going to look at is things to consider in an IELTS essay. You can see everything here, right?
Yes. Things to consider.
Planning your essay. Yes. So that's the first thing we'll look at. Then the second thing is planning your essay. Did you know about this, how important it is to plan your essay before you begin? Did you know about this before, that you need to plan your essay before you begin?
Yeah, just to have an idea of what I want to write.
But
you think about it.
Think about it. Yes, that's good. Okay, we'll get into that. Then we'll talk about paragraphs, how you need to structure your essay in paragraphs. Then there's the one of writing an essay introduction. We're going to learn how to write an essay introduction, a good essay introduction, then how to write a paragraph, then writing a good conclusion. So these are the 6 things we're going to look at in this class.
Okay.
So let's go on to the first one. Okay, before we go into the first one, these are like different types of essays that you can see in the IELTS test. You know, it will just be one that they'll give to you, but it's good to know, to have an understanding of all these types of essays so that whichever one comes out, you know how to tackle it.
And I was supposed to write that thing, what you wrote, first slide. Okay. Am I going to have a copy of this?
Yes, I'll share, I'll send it to you. But you should follow, but it's good to follow every single thing here. Don't just relax that you have it later, because it's better you learn everything at the moment, because you need every single time. Understand? So if you need to put anything down, you can. But I think it's when we are in each lesson that you need to start putting. This is just to prepare your mind.
Write it down. Okay, that's fine.
Just to prepare your mind.
Okay.
So let's go on. So the first one I talked about, things to consider. These are the things that you should have at the back of your mind when you're writing an essay. The first one is that you need to understand the question that was given to you. You see, this is very important. Why is it important? Because they're going to judge. There are 4 criteria that they judge your essay on. They use those 4 criteria to like assess what you've written. The first one is your coherence. No, the first one is task achievement. Task achievement is more like, do you understand what you were asked to write? Do you understand the topic? More like, was your essay on topic? Were you actually answering the question that they asked you? So that's why it's important that you need to understand the question that was given to you.
Okay.
And a simple way of doing this is just when you see the question on the booklet, when you see the question, you can just use your pencil on that question, underline the keywords there, underline the keywords. When we start looking at questions, we'll use it to like practice this particular point. But just remember this, underline the keywords, just look at the question, understand what you were asked to do, then underline the keywords. The next thing is that paraphrasing is very important in IELTS. What does it mean to paraphrase? It's just saying the same thing, but using a different word. It could be like using a synonym or using a different set of words that still says the same thing. Do you understand? This is a skill that you need in your IELTS essay. Why do you need it? Because there's another criteria, which is called the vocabulary range or your lexical resource, more like the wealth of words, the extent of variety of words that you are able to use in your essay. But remember that the essay, you are talking about a particular topic, or the things you are talking about is centered around a particular subject. So
sorry. Continue, sir. Yeah, I'm listening.
Is centered around a particular subject or a topic. So chances are that you have to be repeating some words. But in order to show that you have a high or advanced proficiency in English, you need to show off. You need to show them that you can express, you can talk about the same thing using different words. Do you understand? So it's not just synonyms. Yeah. Sometimes it could be changing the arrangement of the sentence or using a different set of words that still says the same thing. So this is what you should be doing right from your introduction to your body paragraphs and then to your conclusion. Okay. You should always consciously be using different words to say the same thing instead of repeating a particular word. Somebody that uses one word from the introduction, maybe in the introduction, they've seen a particular word in 3 places there. Body paragraphs is like up to 5 of it. Then conclusion, they can still see that particular word there. It's going to reduce that person's score in that lexical resource criteria. It's going to reduce the person's score. So you need to take it serious. You need to paraphrase a lot. Now, there are some words that you can't paraphrase. There are some words that don't have synonyms. It's just, for instance, something like technology, or there's some words, or government, or president. In fact, president, you can say the country's leader or something, but there are some words that you just see that you can't change it. Then those words, you can leave it that way. You shouldn't allow the desire to paraphrase to now make you say something else. You should avoid that. But it's just reduce your repetition of words. It should just be to the barest minimum, to repeat words to the barest. If you can't avoid it, you understand? Then you need to plan your essay before you begin. Now, planning your essay is beyond thinking about what you want to write. Yes, it begins with thinking. When you see the question, you understand the question, you underline the keywords, then you now think about the answer you want to give. Make sure you put down your ideas. Now, just use like 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to do your plan. Excuse me. Now, doing a plan, you just need like 3 to 5 minutes to do your plan. But the important thing is that you need to write your plan down. You need to write it down. A plan is not a paragraph or a long sentence. It's just an idea of the answer. It's just, for instance, now, the way we make notes on our notes, maybe like a jotter or the notebook in our phones. You remembered an idea that you want to work on later on, and you just write like 3 to 4 words or maybe 5 words, or like a sentence that is not even a proper sentence, but it is something that later on, when you go back and look at, you have an understanding of what you want to do, or an understanding of what we are talking about if you look at what you wrote down. Do you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
So that is what your plan, should be. Your plan is basically an answer, a brief answer to the question that they asked you. You just quickly jot it down, write some keywords. We'll practicalize all these things. I'm just like giving an overview. Yeah. But you need to put it down. You need to write it down, because this plan is going to be the foundation of your introduction. And then your introduction will be the foundation of your body paragraphs. Do you understand? So it shows how important a plan is. If you don't write a plan down, maybe just look at the question and you have some ideas of what you want to write, and you just go ahead to start writing, there's a high chance of you writing off point, or as in as in you're likely to deviate. You're more likely to deviate, go off topic, or get stuck, get into a particular part of the essay and you don't know what to write again. So it's just better at the very beginning, write that plan down. Give yourself maximum of 5 minutes, put down a plan before you continue, before you go ahead to write your essay. Then you should look at your spellings. It's very important to have correct spellings. Wrong spellings will affect your grammatical range. Grammatical range involves like your spelling, your tenses, more like they'll check if you're actually using past tense where you're supposed to use it. Are you using present tense where you're supposed to use it? And then your punctuation and all that. So you need to make sure that you are spelling correctly.
Sorry, 1 minute, Amara.
Yeah, I can hear you. What?
Yeah, I've heard you, Victor. Have you dropped the? No problem. Okay, bye. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Spelling. Okay.
Okay, so we've dealt with correct spelling and grammar and then vocabulary. You need to show off. You need to decide to use advanced words instead of simple words. Now, if you want to use advanced words, you need to make sure that you're spelling them correctly and that using them in the right context. If you're not sure on how to use a word, please avoid it and use the ones that you are sure about. It's better that way. It's better use a simple word and your grammar and sentence is correct than using an advanced word out of context. But if you can use the advanced word correctly, then use it. It will get you scores.
Okay.
Then there's also the place of linking words.
Okay. Firstly, secondly. Okay.
Yes. These things, they help your coherence in your essay. They help coherence, like they help to introduce an idea, a sentence, a paragraph. It clearly shows, for instance, you can use words like in conclusion, to conclude, to begin your conclusion. So once an examiner reads that, it clearly shows that, okay, that she's concluding her essay, that this is her conclusion paragraph. So linking words really help a lot. They help a lot and they will boost your scores. So these are the things that you should take note of.
Okay.
When we are doing practicals and all that, you see how to use some. So to give you an idea of how to now use others. And I encourage you to still research more on these linking words because they are much more than this. You can just Google, you just type IELTS writing tax 2 linking words. You see many articles and all that. So please take note of that.
IELTS.
Just type like IELTS writing tax
linking words. Okay.
Linking words. And you see many articles that have been written on it. So write them down and use them whenever you are writing, you're practicing your essay.
Okay.
We'll see how you use them, some of them in comment slides. Then you need to look at your sentences. It will be very nice if you can combine simple, compound, and complex sentences. A simple sentence is, for instance, Obi is a boy. I am coming. I'm going. This is a house. All those things are simple sentences. A compound sentence is now when you use a conjunction to join two simple sentences. You can say, this is my house, but my father built it for me. That but there has now like joined two simple sentences to make it a compound one. These are very basic examples of these things, but I want you to understand what I'm talking about. Then complex sentences is now when you have added words like, let's say, this is the house that my father built for me. Wow, how do I put it? This is the house my father built for me. However, I do not consider it to be my personal house. this is just a very crude example of giving a complex sentence, but these are the times when you give a sentence and then you would use phrases. What are they called? What are they called?